Speaking of pyramids, have you seen the recent reel that shows that they did some research, some radar research of the pyramids?
Yeah.
And they found structures underneath the pyramid. Have you seen this? Hey, Casting Faith crew, let's talk about something that keeps us running strong. Literally, we're proud to partner with First Form, the leader in premium nutrition and supplements.
These products aren't just for gym rats, y'all. First Form has something for everyone. Whether you're in the gym, in the woods, or on the water chasing steelhead or bass, protein powders, pre-workouts, vitamins, greens, you name it, they've got it.
And here's the best part. When you shop through our link, you're directly supporting this podcast. Every order you make helps us keep doing what we love, talking faith, fitness, and fishing just for you.
So don't wait. Level up your health, fuel your passion, and support the Casting Faith podcast. Click that link and get started with First Form today.
I challenge you as a believer, let that power get out.
Blind people received their sight. People have been carried in. We're healed. Nobody touched them. Nobody laid a hand on them. We just praised the Lord and spoke the word of faith, and God began to heal the people.
Here's a fish.
Yeah, let's go!
Oh my gosh, he's a big.
You landed him.
He kept me from the skunk. Look how massive this is.
The Casting Faith podcast.
Push on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another episode of the Casting Faith podcast. This is, I believe, episode 24.
Crazy. 24
Episode
episodes.
24. We're halfway to 48.
Wow.
You could listen to us every hour for 24 hours now.
Wow. That's insane.
So thanks for being with us and welcome back. We got David with us again.
Let's go.
2 weeks in a row.
Sweet.
He, came back this week and
Wore the same shirt.
Same thing, same hat. Just turn it around.
it's crazy.
And then,
Dude, did you even wash those clothes?
Nope.
Wow.
Worked in them all week.
Oh,
in them.
I'm wearing the same thing too.
I'm the only one with personal hygiene.
Except for that beard.
Hey, I'm ready for this to go. Like, to be truthful, like, we'll get right into catching up. This mustache goes straight up my nostrils.
Trim it back, man.
It's horrible. I think I'm ready to be done with it. Easter is coming, and we are.
It's probably already over by the time this aired.
Oh, really? That's cool. So next episode, I will not have this beard then. And man, we just did.
You probably will still.
Easter drama. Maybe I will. You're right. I will have the beard for a while.
Timing's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's all an illusion. I'm just
like the moon.
What? The moon is real.
No, I keep telling Anna and Trenton that it's weird that the moon's in the same spot every night, isn't it? 'Cause it's projected there.
Listen, in all
It's a projection.
seriousness,
Here we go.
I don't think we went to the moon.
I know we didn't go to the moon.
I really don't think we did. I don't know. I had this conversation with my dad recently, and my dad was like, we definitely went to the moon. I'm like, no, we didn't.
Listen.
Look at the video. Like, why is the flag moving if the spaces of...
It's not even about that for me. You know how hard it is to live stream from my basement in 2025 to my neighbor, say? How are we live streaming from the moon?
Right.
And it looks good.
Why haven't we been back?
Listen.
We didn't go to the moon.
I don't know.
Nope.
Guys, for
I
real?
do know we didn't go to the moon.
It didn't happen. There's no way.
Propaganda. In the middle of the Cold War, all of a sudden we had this huge win over Russia. It was propaganda.
All right, here's one to talk about. Why in the world did the government not go get the guys off the space station? Why did it take Elon Musk to do it?
That's weird.
Elon was like, I can go do it right now. And they're like, no. And it waited till after Trump got in to go get them.
Dude,
they're supposed to be there for a week.
Did you see the effects that it had on that
On the
lady?
girl?
Oh
Yeah.
my word.
Yeah.
Her chin went
Did
out
you see
like
that the government had to pay them overtime for all that time too?
Dude, do you remember
Well, Donald Trump said he'll pay it out of his pocket if he has to.
Do you remember the old McDonald's commercial of the moon?
No.
It's like a
the
jazzy,
sunglasses?
the sunglasses. That's what her chin looked like.
Yeah.
The moon's chin.
That's me.
I'm sorry, lady. I don't mean it mean, but that's what they did to you.
Come on, man.
I don't mean it that way. I'm just saying that's what it looked like. Like, can I have an original thought?
woman? She looks like the moon.
She looks like the moon from McDonald's. Maybe I could throw that up. I'll put it in the reel or something.
on, dude.
I'm just saying, it's crazy. It's crazy how space affects people over time.
Yeah,
I think
so they were supposed to be there for like 5 to 8 days or something. They were up there for like 8 to 10 months.
Yeah,
and
can't imagine.
And there was there's a conspiracy that it was the government that kept them up there.
Here's something: they weren't supposed to be there over Christmas, but on Christmas Day they're wearing Santa Claus hats in a picture.
They sent them up stuff or something.
Oh, guys, we're right into it. Right into the weird. Straight diving into the weird.
We didn't even take a break. We're just back.
Yeah.
We're just gonna
Did we
chill.
go to the moon?
No, we did not go to the moon.
Nope.
Am I going to be the voice of reason here? We went to the moon.
We are the voice of reason.
No.
You are the voice of propaganda.
We went to the moon.
All right. Have you been to the NASA Space Center in Houston?
No.
Okay. If you ever go to Houston, go to the NASA I think it's Johnson Space Center. Go to the museum. Go look at the moon scene.
Mm-hmm.
They have it set up. And it looks like it was filmed right there.
It was filmed in Arizona.
We went to the moon.
in Arizona.
So, okay. I think we went.
It's not so
why was the flag moving in the video?
I think here's what I think.
none of that is my reasoning. It's just the live stream for me.
That makes sense too. But to me, like, we've been told space is a vacuum. There's no wind.
Guys, I don't know.
We didn't go to the moon.
No, we did.
We did not go to the moon.
Let's do a poll.
Let's go and do this story. I guess this was not the thought for today, but where's the button? Where's the weird music button? Go ahead and hit it. Let's talk about it. So picture this. The year was 1969. The world is watching. The United States is racing against the Soviet Union to claim victory in the space race. And NASA proudly announces that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin will land on the moon. But wait, was it real? Did it happen? Some conspiracy theorists, like David and Sean, believe that Apollo 11 moon landing was faked by NASA and filmed in a Hollywood studio. It never happened. Or did it?
He said
that was pretty
Clip
good.
it.
Did it happen or did it not happen?
The thumbnail of this needs to be us as astronauts. I'm just saying. I mean, that would be amazing.
Let's do it. Man.
No, it did not happen.
I just think...
There is too much evidence. And if you go back and you watch like interviews of Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong talking about it, they're visibly disturbed about what they're saying.
You know, there's a lot on this, and I'm not sure where I stand on this topic. There's days where I believe it happened, and there's days where I look into it and I'm like, this never happened.
Nope, I don't think it happened.
But I think the majority of people think it happened.
I always thought it happened until I started getting into video stuff and learning how hard it is to like stream or to record in good quality and
then in the
for
60s,
them to be 1969 for
they were
them
able to get it to
people
everybody.
don't even have internet yet.
So
how are we doing that with no internet?
Okay, this is where
From space.
This is where I land. Kind of, and I will probably change my mind multiple times in this episode if we continue to talk about this. But I think we did, but I think the video footage is fake. I think we went, but we just needed to show the world.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
We went, we did it.
No.
But all the footage is not real. That's kind of where I lean towards it because
I went to Atlantis and I took video, but the video is fake. You just have to believe I went to Atlantis.
We went. I can't not. What have we been taught our whole lives? We went to the moon.
Exactly.
In
We've been taught a lot.
1969.
Propaganda.
No, yeah,
Top
Yep.
propaganda.
I don't know.
propaganda. History is written by the winners.
Do you know what people in North Korea believe?
What?
All kinds of crazy stuff.
Where did that come from? They like rocks.
I'm just saying, like that. Like that's the when I think of propaganda in a population, that's North Korea.
Oh, I don't know.
They don't even know the world exists outside of them.
I don't know. But the flag is a thing. That's weird. The flag in space where there's no air. How did they create it? The wind. I don't understand. How could it wave if it's in space and there's no wind in space?
Yeah, none of that matters to me. It's the video.
How does that?
It's not possible.
There's
Not
shadows.
possible in 1969.
There's shadows. that fall in the photos.
Yep, and it makes it look like lights coming from different directions.
So how though?
And
Because the sun.
also, we've been told that we have more technology in our phone than they did at that time. So how in the world were they able to get not only to the moon, record and transmit from the moon, but then back?
So the flag and then the shadows are impossible because the only light source is the sun.
Right.
And in all the things, there's so many things. The Van Allen radiation belt, right? And according to some, passing through it would have fried the astronauts like a crispy potato chip, like how it would happen.
Love that description.
Yeah. It would I'm kind of hungry. Anyways, it would, it's not really possible to go through that. And so a lot of people think that this never really happened.
I also would like everybody to know that this is completely organic conversation because we were not.
This is not even in the notes.
This at all.
Who brought this up? You did with the moon.
It's a projection.
Oh man,
the moon is a projection.
I don't know.
What is the blue? Something?
No, but have you seen the rust?
Are you a flat earther?
No.
Good.
Okay.
What's
too
the blue
far.
conspiracy thing?
What? Project Bluebeam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe kind
That's
of.
it.
that.
Is that
That's a whole
projection?
nother-
Like
yeah.
It's too
That's a
much.
whole
so
nother
that's why
episode.
that's why I was saying like the moon's a projection.
Okay.
Project Bluebeam.
I see where you're
Well,
going there.
but
now.
have you seen the rust on the moon? Have you seen the rust?
Have you heard the
spots?
people that say that
How's there rust on the moon
moon's
when there's no oxygen on the moon?
hollow and it dings like a bell?
I've heard. So that same friend that worked at that last episode we talked about, he worked guarding nukes in the Marines. He firmly believes that extraterrestrial beings live inside of the moon,
No,
and it
come
is
on.
hollow.
Why would they be inside of it?
Because it's a shell of protection.
I don't know.
And it's an illusion.
I don't know.
That's what it's funny.
What do you like? So on the moon thing, what do you guys think about these structures that they're finding on Mars with satellite images?
I never heard
I
of
think
it.
we don't
Do you
know.
think that it's? Do you think they're structures, or do you think that it's just like geographic anomalies?
I think it's probably geographic anomalies.
I kind of lean
but,
towards that too.
but it's not. Man, we don't know. Like
I mean,
all the things.
it's possible that satellites could like get off track and
Yeah.
crash into it, right?
Sure.
But is it like structures,
But like structures
buildings
like
or something?
looks like pyramids, looks like openings.
But the
looks
same people who deny the moon existence deny the Mars rover, and that's like recorded in Arizona or something. Like the footage from that.
yeah, but that's more recent. That's another thing. That's more recent.
So here's a cool thing. So, let's go ahead and get weird. All right. But I watched
Round two. Ding,
I
ding.
watched a reel of somebody who put a bottle rocket under the ice. Okay. So they drilled a hole in the ice, they lit a bottle rocket, and they set it off. And I hope I can find this. But once they set it off, it mushroom cloud like a chemtrail. The whole way through the ice, you could see it go off. And when it exploded, it burst through, and water came up from the water. Now, if you look at
Water came up from the water.
water came up from the ice, right? Like a big explosion, like something burst. If you look at Elon Musk's rocket launch, one of the recent ones, when it goes up, it does the same chemtrail and it goes in a straight
I
line.
also love that
and
we're
bursts.
referring to them as chemtrails. Like we're just fully bought in on that.
Well, that's a
Because
real
that's
thing.
what I do too.
That's a real thing.
I'll look at Brittany when we're driving the car. I'm like, look at all those chemtrails. Listen,
Thanks,
we were on
Pop.
the road in South Carolina, and I counted 23 chemtrails at one time going over the bridge in South Carolina. And I looked at Brittany, and I'm like, you got to take a picture. She's got the picture, I'm sure. But there's
Dude, it's
23
just, what are you talking
planes
about?
with.
It's
what?
just vapor from the engine.
Oh
man.
yes,
No, they're dumping fuel.
and we definitely went to the moon.
So it goes up just like it did through the ice. It looks like it's like the reel that I said, it was like split screen and it was showing both, and it was the same trajectory and the same motion. And when it hit the sky, the rocket hit the sky, it explodes. And like there's like a burst, just like
Yeah,
water
when the
falling
rocket
from like the
separates.
firmament. Like I'm not saying we're flat earthers, but anyways, it's just weird.
That one is explainable.
It's just weird. But I think I kind of lean towards we went to the moon. But there's a lot of weird, it doesn't make sense things. And like quickest way to people will look at us like we're kind of crazy. So it's okay. But did the moon landing happen? Did it not happen?
It didn't.
I don't know. We don't know. Some things we just don't know. Here's what we do know. And you made
do
this
know
quote.
that one.
You said the quote that history is written by the winners.
Yep.
And that's true. Our history books are not always what really happened. Right? And so that's pretty crazy that that we could be told something our entire lives and it be wrong.
Speaking of structures on Mars, how about structures that are found on Earth in Antarctica?
Oh, boy.
The pyramids. Have you seen those? Are those mountains? I looked for them on Google Earth. I couldn't find them.
It's hard to...
The mountain ranges kind of look...
Yeah,
that
but when you look at it from
pyramid
an aerial view and it looks like a pyramid, like it looks like it has sides like a pyramid, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And how thick is that ice?
Yeah.
And there's maps that show Antarctica is green. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
Antarctica's weird. I know we got into that a couple of, like, last time or 2 times ago when I was here. But it's just weird.
Speaking of pyramids.
Antarctica.
In Antarctica. Speaking of pyramids.
Yeah.
You got any more of that weird music?
I don't know what we're doing, but there it is.
No, the other one. It's okay.
That one?
Nope. One more.
Now we're in the Middle East.
So, speaking of pyramids, have you seen the recent reel that shows that they did some research, some radar research of the pyramids?
Yeah.
And they found structures underneath the pyramid. Have you seen this?
Crazy.
A little bit.
Crazy.
All right, Dave.
This music is awesome.
It is pretty sweet. Just
just
keep
say
it
that.
rolling. I like it.
I feel like we're going to find a lamp in the sand.
There's the lamp.
So they did some radar technology. I'm probably, but let me get the
I believe it's LiDAR.
Was it LiDAR?
Yeah.
So they did some research under the pyramid. Which pyramid was it? Do you remember?
The Pyramid of
Maybe
Khufu.
you probably know a little bit more. So go off.
I believe it was the Pyramid of Khufu. They did a LiDAR scan, and they found structures, cylindrical structures, which looks like it has coils wrapped around it, going down into cube-shaped structures. And I want to say it's like 1.5 miles below the sand, below the pyramids, into the bedrock, which is insane. I mean, the pyramids have always been highly contested on how it was done because it doesn't make sense. And like, what are the uses for it? To me, there's no way it's just a tomb. It doesn't make sense.
Do you think that Mr. Beast video, it was real?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
So he got special access to go inside of the Great Pyramids of, was it?
Giza?
Yeah. So he went inside and filmed everywhere.
Yeah, but they're still finding chambers in there too. That's the other thing. Like chambers, and
So-
like you look at the weight of the blocks, it doesn't make sense. There's
Yeah.
no way. Like it'd be hard for us to do it today.
My like where I'm like leaning towards in bringing up the Mr. Beast thing is like a diversion. Like showing this, like, yeah, there's nothing here,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay, I get what you're saying.
but underneath,
Yep.
maybe there is.
So there's a lot of people that think that it was some sort of like a power source. I mean, they're definitely going to have to do more research into whatever these structures are that they found.
And they'll never let us know.
No, but it would make sense if it's something to do with like hydraulic power,
With
because
water
of the
or
Nile
something
River
in there?
plain underneath.
Yeah.
If these are some sort of turbine, but how would they have had the capability of doing that when the pyramids were supposedly built? It just doesn't make sense. And also, I mean, there's a lot of evidence of like water erosion on like the Sphinx, for instance, and it doesn't all add up. One thing that I thought, just bringing it around biblically, when we were talking about this in the text, Jared said the Bible talks about the pillars of the earth. I wonder if this is what pillars of the earth are.
That's wild.
Thanks, Jared.
Jared,
He knows about rocks.
He does. He knows what's under them rocks. But
No, it's super interesting though.
yeah, I just thought it was weird because our whole lives we've been told the pyramids are just tombs. Like, why would you build a giant pyramid for just one person?
Yeah, and did you guys know, I'm sure you've heard this, but the pyramids supposedly were covered in limestone sheets and had a gold top.
Weird.
Yeah, and that's
I've never
another
heard
thing
that.
with the pyramids is they're almost perfectly aligned with the star system of Orion.
Yeah.
And there's pyramid systems found all over the world, South America. Some people believe in China, in Antarctica, supposedly. What's with the pyramids? Like, that doesn't make sense. Why does everybody have the same concept to build? from countries that were completely separated.
You know who has the
What?
greatest pyramid?
Jesus.
The United States of America. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Have you seen the Bass Pro Pyramid?
Oh.
I've spent way too much money there lately. So
Have you seen it? Though?
Yeah, in Memphis.
That's amazing.
You know what's weird? So we went to Nashville last year, me and Britt, and Nashville is considered the Athens of the South, and they have a full-size replica of the Parthenon and like a full-size statue of Athena standing inside the Parthenon. But in Tennessee, in Memphis is the Bass Pro Pyramid, and then Nashville is the Parthenon. Like, what's going on in Tennessee?
What are we
Why
doing?
doing this? But yeah,
what if we're like on Mogador and I got side scan
And we find a pyramid.
and we find a pyramid,
yeah.
a 26 foot
Under the
tall
water.
pyramid.
Crazy would that be? Like right in that spot. There's the pyramid. I'm sure people have been out there with side scan before. That's not new technology, so we would have found it by now.
But the radar they used, what was it called? It was a SAR radar, so synthetic aperture radar.
Okay.
And this technology detected a vast underground structure, and there's like, I think there were 6 cylinders that go really far down, like more than like physically possible even today to get that far down. Like it would be so to think that they did this. Like they didn't do this after the pyramids were built. They did this before. So these structures go thousands of feet down.
I wonder if there's satellite images of the that time.
What do you guys think of like pre-flood technology?
That's what this. So this would.
Pre-flood.
Oh,
There's a lot of theories that say,
never thought about it.
bro. There's a lot of theories that say that this isn't. We're not living in the most advanced technological time.
Yeah.
And that there were civilizations before us that had better technology than we even have today.
Maybe they just developed on a different path than we did.
But what does that even mean?
Right.
Like it breaks my brain to think about that. Because that doesn't negate the Bible
No.
at all. It just means that we could be on multiple cycles of not, I don't want to.
Well, I don't even think that it's
like
multiple cycles. I think it could just
be
mean like
further
our
generations
concept
out.
of time is not what we think it is.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like all of the recent like, oh, we don't know if like dinosaurs, for example.
I've seen the science.
I don't know if I believe it. I've seen the bones, but what we think of a dinosaur today, like you think of the T-Rex from Jurassic Park and the velociraptors, but now they're saying that the people who drew the renderings of the dinosaurs based off the bones didn't account for fat or muscle tissue.
Yeah, have you seen the example of like
Yeah.
what a hippo would look
Yeah.
like? Basically,
So if you draw a hippo from their skeletons the way they did the
it
dinosaurs,
looks like some sort of monster.
It looks insane.
like with teeth and fangs, and
and so it could be a lot of these dinosaurs were birds, and a lot of these dinosaurs were like
I
the
think it's-
T-Rex was literally a giant chicken.
I think that it's biblical dragons.
That's a good
Have
point.
you seen anybody that with short arms that work out? It's like little T-Rex. 21. So, all right.
Oh, God.
Quick funny story.
Yes, let's hear it.
You made fun of the astronaut. So
I didn't make fun of her. I just said it's crazy that happened.
She looks like a moon. She looks like the moon. Is what you
doesn't
said.
mean it's mean. I'm just saying that's what she looked like. Her chin went out like the moon from McDonald's commercial. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't mean. It was just a
So
observation.
speaking of T-Rexes,
Oh gosh.
there's this guy at the gym that works out in the early morning when I would go.
Does he look like the moon?
No. But when he would do his warm-ups,
It wasn't even the real moon.
he's like warming up and like doing his stretching and stuff. And
I know what you're talking about.
oh my
Sorry,
gosh, dude.
You should know this. You are McDonald's #1 customer.
Dude, no, I don't.
You don't remember this commercial?
We didn't have TV in West Virginia.
That's what her chin looked like.
Oh my gosh,
Tell me I'm wrong.
you're wrong. All right, so
Sorry,
this
go
guy,
ahead.
this guy at the gym is T-Rex. He's really strong, but when he'd go to like he'd do like 1,000 push-ups, quote unquote push-ups, when he warms up, and he goes like this.
Still a push-up, even though he has stubby arms.
This is his push-up, and he does it like super fast. He's going. You're still in the moon thing, aren't you? Gosh.
Insert commercial break.
No breaks.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. But what is that? What caused the mutation of her face?
You're digging yourself a worse hole. You said she has a mutated face.
The point is, she had to be in
crying.
space. She had to be in space, which means we went to the moon because we went to space. If we'd been to space, we could have gone to the moon.
There's a difference between near Earth orbit and beyond the
They're in
radiation
space.
belt. No, that doesn't mean anything.
If we went to space, like,
This
comment,
is
and
also
subscribe.
how many years different?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Off the rails this episode. I'm sorry. The guy did stubby.
No, move on.
I just think it's weird. I do think we went to the moon, and I think it's weird.
So now you think that we went to the moon.
Because look at her face.
And
What
and
happened
What
to her face?
is your correlation?
She went to space. We went to space. We went to moon.
The space station is not that far
my
compared to the moon.
My brain.
There's a difference between near Earth orbit and the moon.
Okay. I don't know. I think we went.
They could throw a rock and hit Earth
Why
from the
haven't we
space
been-
station.
Why haven't we been back
Oh,
to the moon?
Dude, if it's so, you're saying it's
What
not.
just happened just now?
Well, I'm trying.
You
it's
just
all-
had a thought.
I
Just
did.
changed his mind.
He did. So how you said? Where is? How far up is the space station?
Like, well, let's get actual facts here.
No.
Yep.
254 miles.
And how far away is the moon?
A lot more than that.
How far away is the moon?
238,855 miles.
Oh my gosh. Did we go to the moon? No! Gosh.
We're talking a difference of like
Dude.
237,000 miles.
How long did it take to get to the moon?
I don't know off the top of my head
I'm gonna
because I
look
don't
it.
think we went.
Oh no.
Houston, we have a problem.
We do have a problem. It's not math.
3 days, 3 hours,
How?
240,000 miles.
That
On
doesn't math.
1969 technology.
That doesn't math. And it took us 6 months to get these people off of 200 miles off the space station. And that did that to her face. And we're going to think that these people went even farther and it didn't affect.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had a famous quote
Allegedly,
in the
they
movie
were-
Moana,
This
where he
is
said, "You're welcome."
this is a crazy number. They were allegedly traveling at 3,333 miles per hour. What's up with the threes?
What can I say?
You're
welcome.
I don't know. This wasn't what this episode was supposed to be, guys. Now I'm questioning our history.
No, I actually like the topics you brought up for today, so I would like to talk about them. But I don't think we went to the moon.
Yeah, it's weird.
And now neither does Charlie.
I don't know what I think. My brain hurts.
He's like,
Somebody-
we went to the space station.
Somebody-
285 miles
Somebody
away.
who's a learned scientist, please help me understand, because it's not mathing right now with the given
The distance
information.
to the space station is about the distance to West Virginia.
Oh my gosh. And all I'm saying is, how did her
It's
face
not that far.
How did her face end up like that? And she's a sweet I'm sure she's great, but like, it's sad that happened and they were stuck up there for so long.
That was only 285 miles.
And that exactly, and so multiply that by however much to get.
240,000 miles.
I'm just saying, I don't know now. I don't know.
And we live streamed it from 240,000 miles away
And yeah, wonder what the upload rate on that is.
with no internet.
How many gigs did
The
that
internet
take?
didn't exist.
Yeah. And it's never been replicated. And we lost the technology on how we got there. I just don't know. Well,
I do know.
Maybe we'll do another episode on this later.
There's no reason. There's nothing to talk about. It didn't happen.
I
don't
agree with
know.
Sean.
I don't know. That's not what society says. That's not what people say.
That's not what the United States says.
Yeah, the United States
Wonder
wants to be
what-
number
Which
one.
I love my country very much.
What does
but
Russia
I don't think
say?
I don't
Russia said those guys are idiots.
know. In Soviet Russia.
Has anyone else ever gone to the moon?
No.
Just us?
No.
USA. USA.
No, it didn't
Back-to-back
happen.
World War champs.
Yep. I don't know.
About to be 3 times.
No, don't speak that evil on us.
Nope.
Weird. All right. Why don't we just get weirder? Here we go. All right. Here's the thing we've all learned about. We've learned about this topic before in Sunday school. I don't know if you were like me, but has anybody ever had to carry a makeshift Ark of the Covenant on their shoulders?
I don't know.
You had to pretend to be a Levite in a Sunday school lesson carrying the Ark of the Covenant. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. The Ark of the Covenant. Everybody's seen this episode or this movie, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Solid movie from our childhood. But it talks about the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, before our childhood. But we watched it in our childhood.
Yeah.
The Ark of the Covenant is a historical and biblical artifact, right? We know that this was a sacred thing. It represented where God's Spirit dwelled for the Israelites, and it was a big piece of Bible history, which, if you're a believer in the Bible, it exists, right? And so at least it did exist. Aaron's rod that budded was in there. The pot of manna was in there. There was lots of stuff. 10 Commandments, all these things were in there. And it was a significant piece of Bible history. And when Jesus died on the cross, the veil rent in twain, and his presence was available for all of us. And that is how we experience God today freely. But back then, it was specific to certain people, right? And so the question is where is the Ark of the Covenant? Where is it? It existed because it's in the Bible, but where did it go? Where is it and who has it? And so this is some crazy stuff that just recently happened. There are CIA documents that have been released, declassified, that says, and this is weird, we're getting out there, but this is weird. And again, this is speculation, but this is like actual documents that were released stating that the CIA funded operations for people to remote view where the Ark of the Covenant is. And so for all of these people who are unbelievers, and it feels like our whole life, like anything in school, anything in society is kind of anti-God, but why would we fund some out there research trying to remote view where this historical thing is if it never existed to people? Why would we fund this if people think that it wasn't real?
So what's crazy about that? So I want to get back to the Ark of the Covenant, but if you look at history, the Nazi Party, Adolf Hitler was very interested in the biblical relics. Like that was some of the stuff that he was specifically looking for some reason. I don't know.
My point is, I guess part of this is that our world is a lot more believers than they're not.
Yeah.
If we're spending research money on a weird concept such as remote viewing, which is
You're gonna have
odd.
to explain that to me. I don't know what remote viewing you're referring to.
Let's dig into this a little bit. So here's where it gets weird. Some people say the Ark of the Covenant is hidden under the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Others say it's in Ethiopia, and we'll dive into this. But the declassified CIA document confirms that they found something. They found something. They found the Ark of the Covenant. That's what they're claiming, that they found it. But how did they find it? They found it by remote viewing, which is a weird concept. So, David, do you have any way to explain this to Sean?
So I just kind of looked up the meaning of remote viewing, and it's all alleged. It's not. I don't know where you stand on it, but I mean, the CIA, our government, spent money on researching it. But it is the ability of human beings to perceive information and imagery of remote geographical targets without being there. So again, it's all in what you want to believe. But like Charlie said, there's been declassified documents that have said that people are remote viewing the location of the Ark of the Covenant. Which is, I mean, like I said, super, super interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is real.
No.
But I'm saying they spent money on it.
Yeah.
So it's another one of these unexplainable things. Remote viewing is the practice, Sean, of somebody attempting to gather information about distant or unseen targets using only their mind.
Using only their mind?
Mm-hmm. Using only their mind.
I thought we were talking about like satellite imagery and
in your brain.
cameras and
No,
stuff.
it's like your mind.
Like I said, all alleged.
Without any physical interaction or conventional sensory input, it gained public attention recently due to declassified CIA documents and government programs. So the government funded this, and they have experiments. They've experimented with this on people.
Past tense because Doge.
Right. So in 1970s, the U.S. government became interested in remote viewing for potential military applications.
The 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now the moon happened because if we can telepathically remote view stuff, we can live stream from the moon.
So
right?
there's so much on this. We probably don't have time to get into all of it, but they like in the 70s they experimented with like drug use and stuff to get people to do this. Like psychedelics and different things.
And it's all documented. It's
I can't remember what it's called.
Project MK Ultra.
Yeah. And so this was something that was funded by our government, and it never, if they did it back then, it never stopped. Right. And so recently, in the 1990s, oh man, it just gets weirder and weirder the further you go down this rabbit hole. But they train people to use remote viewing to gather information about enemy locations and military operations and other targets. And one of these things were the possibility of finding the Ark of the Covenant.
So what you're saying is remote viewing, if that exists, means that Avatar is real.
No, the blue people, Ferngully, is that what you're talking about? That's one of the silly.
Is that like the same kind of concept?
Yeah, kind of.
So they're going to a place in their mind,
mm-hmm.
and they're actually going somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And supposedly,
some people could just say it's your imagination.
Yeah, they have a vivid
I
imagination.
remote view every night
in your dreams, right?
Yeah.
And so they're saying that they funded this research and found the Ark of the Covenant.
So it's interesting because
sounds like a bunch of malarkey to me.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of speculation on what happened with the Ark of the Covenant. Obviously, God's presence doesn't reside in the Ark anymore,
right.
Which thankfully, because of His salvation, we have, or because of His sacrifice, we have salvation, which is, amazing. But it is, a very important historical artifact to the church and to world history. So it would be really, really, who wouldn't want to see the 10 Commandments and Aaron's staff that budded and what's left of the manna?
Well, I think you could do this about any historical biblical artifact or relic. Of course, they're not going to say it's real. Of course, they're not going to come out and say we found this or we discovered this. Like they found chariot wheels at the bottom of the sea Moses split.
Yeah.
They found, bones of soldiers at the bottom. What does that confirm? That story is real. So they wouldn't say that. You're not going to learn about that. Instead, you're going to learn about the moon landing that may or may not have never happened.
Have you seen the structure they believe is the Ark?
Yes, on a mountain in Turkey.
In Mount Ararat, yeah.
And
that's crazy.
But it's like, why not confirm this? What would be the negative of telling people that this is true? Is it just because we want I don't think it would be chaos, because at one point, the world believed in God.
Yeah, but I think what they're worried about is the chaos of other religions collapsing because of it. And the people going into...
Wouldn't that align, though, with like the one world government and the one world religion and the one world banking system?
I'm with you.
But wouldn't it just push further towards that rather than... Like wonder why we're so afraid of telling what we found, if they found it. And I'm not saying any of this is true or any of this is. I'm saying the Bible is true and that the stuff in the Bible is true. But I'm not saying that remote viewing is real and the moon landing's fake and all of these things. I'm saying the
moon landing's fake.
We don't. I'm saying they spent real money on it.
Yeah,
and that's weird.
Taxpayer money.
They spent real taxpayer dollars on funding on funding these things. But the Ark of the Covenant was a major piece in the Bible, and it has so much significance. And when the Ark disappeared, the glory of God disappeared from the people.
So scary thought.
That's a crazy thought. Like as believers today, When you lose the presence of God, you've lost it all.
Yeah.
When you no longer have a relationship with God as a believer in our time, you know, where Jesus made the ultimate sacrifice and became available for everybody to have a relationship with Him and follow His commandments and follow His teachings and do what He said to get to heaven. When you remove God's presence from a situation, it's hopeless. And so losing the ark was a devastating thing.
Yeah.
Now, not so much today, because when Jesus died on the cross, the veil ripped and His presence became available for people. It entered in a new dispensation. That's not the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's to not have the presence of God was detrimental to the people.
Yeah.
And so, which makes it really interesting on why the CIA wanted to find this. You know, and do you guys, if they found the ark, would it change anything about your faith, or would it just confirm?
Just confirm.
Right.
Oh, just confirm. Yeah.
So why not, as a government, why would you not want? Is it because the root of our government is just pure antichrist?
Now it is. Wasn't when it was created.
Yeah. Like, is that why they're keeping their findings?
Why they would keep it hidden?
Yeah, because it's just they want to not promote Christianity. And
Art Wilson,
biblical
chime
truth.
in.
Yeah, please.
So I think that it's specifically, like I said, they don't want chaos, because if they confirm too much about Christianity, then it disproves the other religions.
But
and
wouldn't it
it's gonna
just bring
cause-
more order and unity?
Is one
Or would
world
it cause-
order what you want?
I mean, it's not what it's
would
not.
it cause more rebellion?
It's not what I want, but it's what we're going to see.
Can you imagine, though, if obviously we 100% are bought in on Christianity and truth, and we are thankful for that, but can you imagine if somebody handed you proof that what you believed was wrong?
People try to do that our whole life.
I know, but if they could hand you tangible proof that is irrefutable, what would that cause you to do?
You go crazy.
Spiral.
Yeah.
It would convert me probably, you know, but
Or would you have some sort of like crisis in your mind?
It'd be crisis.
That's what
probably.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're saying that
if somebody
people
came to you with our apostolic Christianity, and they said, "Here's you can't what that big word that you used. You can't disprove this."
This is irrefutable.
And so where am I going? I'm gonna be lost.
Yeah. And that's what I think they're afraid of is,
But I guess this is like it's subjective to what you're trying to say is proof, but like this just confirms our beliefs.
yeah.
So we're right and everybody else is wrong. I mean,
And the lady from the space station has a big chin.
yeah, but we're right and everybody else is wrong. Anyways, we say that in love, you know, like Jesus is God, and I don't understand why. I guess I have a skewed view,
Yeah. And I mean,
biased view rather.
yeah, in my opinion, I think that it would cause, I think the reason they're withholding it is because they believe it would cause chaos.
But they've had their proof of the Neanderthal and the dinosaurs,
Because
and
that promotes that the world
moon
is
landing.
diverse and not
But
unified.
it's specifically Antichrist. Everything that they've taught us in public school and in our whole life is to steer you away from the Bible. Don't you think?
Not necessarily. I think a lot of history confirms that the biblical account is, I mean, for most part, truth. I think a lot of history will promote that.
But like, just in general, like science never really agreed with religion until recently.
Well, it did for a long time and then stopped.
Yeah.
And then recently it's being more confirmed.
This is the weird part, right? Like, this is the interesting thing is like, for a government that, at least from my viewpoint, it feels like it's very anti-Christ, to spend a bunch of money on these things to find proof of what we believe already in faith. It's interesting why they wouldn't just reveal that, right? Which brings me to a next area, and we can jump back and forth between these topics, but and this is something I really know very little about, but have you guys ever heard of the Shroud of Turin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's supposedly the burial cloth that Jesus was wrapped in when he died. And they wrapped Jesus, in Easter. I don't know where we're at when we release this episode, but this is like the whole point we celebrate Easter is Jesus's resurrection. He died for our sins, rose from the grave. The veil was torn in two, and the ark was no longer the house of God, but God's Spirit was available for man, redemption, all of the things why we celebrate Easter. But apparently, Jesus was wrapped in a burial cloth, and when this is what they say, they found his burial cloth a long time ago. Okay, this is what they claim, and it's called the Shroud of Turin. And something happened when Jesus, if this is true, something happened when Jesus resurrected to put a photo image of himself on this cloth. And they have this in the Vatican today.
It's pretty crazy because you can see like the holes in his hands and feet and all the blood, the lashings on his back is what's
you can
really
see
crazy.
the crown of thorns, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. And a lot of studies have been done on it to try and disprove it, and it's not been disproven.
I really don't see how that's not real.
How would it have been? Why would it have been preserved? Did Mary take it from the tomb?
Be the Lord.
Did Peter and John take it from the tomb? Like,
no.
Yeah. So there's a lot of history on this, and it was taken by a disciple to a different place.
Okay.
And I wish I had all the information on this, but I don't. It's one of these things that I've never been taught about.
So
I know of it from a podcast. I don't remember what podcast.
Yeah.
But
once again, has nothing to do with salvation or.
I mean, it kind of does because if it's true, it confirms it.
Well, yeah, but if it's not necessarily,
it's just
it confirms Jesus rose.
Yeah.
Well, it confirms that Jesus was crucified.
Yeah.
Right.
But that someone was crucified.
Yeah.
We don't know that it's Jesus.
I was going to say that, but nobody else would have had the power to imprint that on.
Well, that's what's so crazy about it. And what I mean by nothing, it doesn't mean anything in salvation. Like, we don't believe that relics hold any kind of significance.
Right.
It's just kind of something that kind of bolsters our faith.
We don't worship items.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I mean. Like, we're not worshiping a relic. But what's crazy about the shroud is how it would have happened, because it would have been before there's any kind of, like, if you look at photography, Sean, you have a nice camera, you do a little bit of videography and pictures and stuff like that, as well as my wife does. The way that photography worked in its like infancy was it was an image projected onto a piece of glass, and then you took that piece of glass and then you put it on photography paper, and that's how you got the negative images on the glass. So if you look at the shroud, it looks like an image, and then when you go to project it onto photography paper, how it would have been done, looks like you shine the light on it. It looks like the negative of a face with a beard and details of the face. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's really a crazy thing, and it's from so far back. There would have been no way.
Yeah,
the only way that people can kind of try to rationalize it is radiation and flash. Which I'm not. Obviously, we don't know how Jesus was able to be resurrected and brought back, but
I mean, we believe it.
When you try to fathom that a flash or radiation of energy, I mean,
well, what does the Bible say when we get raptured? It'll be like a twinkling of the eye.
Yeah, a flash.
Like a flash. Like a quick thing.
So they think this was imprinted when he came back
when he
into
resurrected
the body.
Yeah.
So the earliest recorded appearance of the shroud is 1300s, and it was in France. It was presented by a French knight, and it was claimed to be the burial cloth of Jesus. And it was moved to Italy in 1578, where it's been preserved in a cathedral since. And so over the years, numerous studies have been done on this shroud to determine its age and authenticity. And in 1988, tests concluded that it was of medieval origins, somewhere between just really, really old.
So that's based on carbon dating. And what the carbon dating didn't take into effect was that there was a fire in the cathedral that it was held in.
Yeah.
And the people working the cathedral, the nuns, had taken the shroud and patched in cloth from that time period.
Yeah.
And that's what they believed was carbon dated, was
so
the cloth
the
that was used to
shroud,
repair it.
It survived a fire and it survived a flood as well.
Mhm.
And so, which speaks to the quality of the fabric too, was such high quality, which matches up what the Bible says about the person who bought the burial clothes for Jesus. He was very wealthy and spent top of the line, the best material that they could get, and it held up. In 2024, X-ray fluoroimaging was done on this, and it detected trace amounts of blood and other substances on the shroud. The blood stains were identified as human male with AB positive blood type, consistent with Middle Eastern populations. However, the exact method of imaging remains unresolved, which is cool. So these are recent things in 2024 that happened. Also, flax origin analysis was taken, and isotope tests revealed that flax was used to weave the shroud's linen, was cultivated in the Middle East, supporting the hypothesis of its origin. There's a lot of big fancy words, but which puts it right at the time and date. There's blood on it, different things. Basically, and another thing was the image, the image that was projected onto however it happened, was over top of the blood, showing that the blood was there first.
Yeah.
Which,
and it whatever happened to cause the image to be projected onto the shroud happened from within the shroud. It wasn't external. It was internal.
Which means so it would be facing, the image was facing down on the body.
Yep.
Which is crazy, man. Which confirms, so I don't know if it's real or not, but it's interesting.
For sure.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's pretty interesting. And the image shows it's just pretty cool. I think it's
His hands are laid across.
And you can see the
his
where the blood was dripping from the holes, and you can see the crown of thorns on his head. And studies have shown that the person, whoever this is, if it's Jesus, I'm not saying it's not Jesus, but whoever it was tortured, was beat.
Look at all the stripes on his back and legs and thighs, and calves, all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool, man, to
That's
see
so crazy.
Stuff like this in history is really cool. And it's the same with the Ark and all these things, whether we found it or not, who knows, but it existed. Same with the Ark, the Noah's Ark on the mountains that they said they have found, or possibly have found.
I want to get back to the Ark of the Covenant though for a second. There is a group of individuals in Ethiopia who believe and claim that they still hold the Ark of the Covenant in their cathedral. And there is a certain person that's elected as the guardian of the Ark. They stay with the Ark their whole life. And what's being reported with them is a lot of them are developing cataracts and then are developing some sort of cancer and dying.
Weird.
Yeah, and they won't allow people to see the Ark. They won't allow people to go into the cathedral. You have to stay behind a gate if you're to go close to the cathedral.
So this, I may be wrong. So there's multiple places that so in Ethiopia, it's I cannot say that word, but Orthodox Tewahedo Church claims to possess the Ark, stating it resides in the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion in Axiom. Access to the Ark is reportedly restricted, with only one guardian monk permitted to view it. Which, if Jesus died and rose, I don't imagine that the Ark the rolls would. Your face isn't going to melt off like in Raiders of the Lost Ark if you touch it. So, because God's glory is available.
Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely get what you're saying. But to the evidence of it going to Ethiopia, it kind of makes sense because Solomon would have done dealings with the Queen of Sheba, and she would have migrated back down to Africa.
Yeah.
There's a devout
South,
sect of Judaism in Africa.
Yeah. So southern Africa, the Limba people of South Africa and Zimbabwe have traditions suggesting their ancestors carried the Ark southward, referring to the voice of God. Believed it was hidden in a cave in the mountains, which is interesting. Also in the Middle East, there's history there stating that it could be there in the Temple Mount or under the Temple Mount, and it's concealed to prevent people from trying to take it or find it. And However, this area has not yielded any significant evidence. So it's weird that we put, I think it's just the point of this for me is like, it's frustrating and it's weird that we're spending money to do this, to find this. And yet on the other hand, you're saying Jesus isn't real. God isn't real.
Right.
Like our world is saying that like we're in the minority of believers, no matter what kind of Christian, Protestant, Catholic, whatever you claim to be. We all agree that Jesus existed. We all agree that the Bible is real, right?
Yeah.
But the world, at least from my perspective, it's always felt like we've been told, nuh-uh, you know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that a lot of history does prove that Jesus is real. You go back to the historian Josephus, which was a Roman account.
Which is he's the one who bought the shroud, right?
I don't believe so. He was or
Joseph.
I am not sure, but Josephus was the Roman historian of the Jewish area, and he documents Jesus. He documents Jesus' resurrection. But a lot of history will document Jesus. A lot of people believe that he was a prophet, not the promised Messiah, which obviously we know is not true. We know that Jesus was God in the flesh. But I think a lot of history proves Jesus' existence. But I think what you're getting at is a lot of what we're researching is proving that Jesus was who he said he was.
Yeah. It's just interesting. And like we said it earlier, the reason we're talking about this today is this month, in March 2025, the CIA declassified documents from 1988
when I was born
that resurfaced, revealing that they spent money. He's 50, he's 45, 40, 37, right? That's crazy. But the CIA in 1988 did this research. They spent money on this to locate the Ark of the Covenant. And one session described a container made out of wood, gold, and silver resembling a coffin with seraphim decorations located underground near mosque domes and Arabic-speaking men. The report cautioned that unauthorized attempts to open the ark would result in destruction by powerful means somehow. So this is like all of the CIA in a CIA document. However, the remote viewer who did this findings were criticized and speculative, which they are, and lacking verifiable evidence, which it does lack evidence. But the point is that the CIA in 1988 spent money and somebody saw something, whether it's in their imagination, real or not, who knows? But they spent money to try to find this. Probably, like if you look at the Bible, it was meant as like when you had the glory of God, you had the victory in battle, right? And so maybe they were trying to militarize it or something.
Did you know that Trump has a replica of the Ark at Mar-a-Lago?
Some people say that's the real one.
I don't know.
No, it's not. Come on.
Paid really good money for it.
It's the best Ark.
That's the best replica. It's huge. No, but like it does remain one of history's enduring mysteries. Despite claims of theories regarding its location, no conclusive evidence has been found to confirm they found it. But it is real because we are believers and it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what say you?
I'm just Trump voice got me thinking of Trump like worshiping God. Like you're a really great man. You're really great, God. The best.
I'd like to ask him and Elon, did we go to the moon? It's a lie. It's the biggest lie in history.
How? But dude, it would never.
What is this, by the way, that he always does? Like
he's wrapping it up. It's tied in. We don't mean to get political. It's just funny.
As we're almost getting ready to close.
Yeah.
Speaking of Trump, this might have been public knowledge before, but I just kind of found out about it this week. You know who Kai Trump is? Mm-hmm. She's really good at golf. Right? Yeah. She's like becoming a really good YouTuber, really centered around golf. Well, and that's Trump Jr.'s daughter, right? Mm-hmm. And her parents are split. Her mom is with Tiger Woods.
Yeah. I saw that.
That's insane. Just
Weird.
like the golf like prodigy here,
Yeah.
like with Charlie Woods and Kai Trump, like in the same family. Like it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Way off topic.
No, that's
Completely.
right.
But that's okay.
It's all right.
But you got me on the Trump, whatever. Trump on the covenant. Trump with a covenant.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's funny that it's like he wanted the replica.
Yeah.
You know, and
Maybe it was to signify the glory of God.
my daughter.
This one might be better than the original. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
That's fake news. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, it's just wild that a lot of this is surfacing into 2025.
Yeah.
20,000,
2025. It's weird that this
2022. What
my
did I
brains
say?
are-
David busted me on that last episode. I said the year was like 2020.
2025. I don't know. No.
You remember what I'm talking
2025.
about.
Yeah, it's wild. Okay, time for overrated, underrated. Overrated, underrated. Overrated, underrated. I guess we got to start with the moon landing.
Fake.
Overrated, underrated.
I don't think you can put it in terms like that. It's fake. It can't be overrated or underrated because it didn't happen.
I think it happened. Agree to disagree. I don't understand how we could have made it this far with it not happening.
What do you mean? How does it have any kind of significance to where we are?
I don't know, man. I don't know. How about you? Did it happen or not happen?
No way.
No way.
There's highly improbable
I don't know, man.
that we can live stream from 240,000 miles away when I can't live stream to my neighbor
I talked about this.
240 feet away.
Jesse Brake, we talked about this at camp, and he was so frustrated with people who didn't believe the moon landing.
Let him be frustrated. He's wrong.
I don't know. He had some solid. No one here can articulate defending the moon landing, and I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know anymore,
Dude. 240,000 miles. And you can't even live stream to your neighbor all the time from 240 feet.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
285 miles is the space station where the lady got deformed.
Hey, so here's one.
No, he said mutilate.
Imagine what would happen 240,000 miles away.
Seeing the
Going this is a number. 3,333 miles an hour. Why threes? Why are they traveling in the threes? Is that how they get through the portal in 3 days to get to the moon?
How many threes?
I can't even drive to California in 3 days.
How many? Is that if you add 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3? Like is that 6
and 6 is 12.
No.
You need to teach 6th grade for a little bit.
Yeah, I need to go back to math. That's like one of the last college courses I have to take is math, and I'm like dreading it. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
3 days. They allegedly got there in 3 days.
Do you know what?
You can't get to California in 3 days in a car.
Seeing the McDonald's ad with the moon that looked like that lady's chin, seeing that made me think of this too. This is their next one. Ready? McDonald's with tallow, or McDonald's today. Back in the day, McDonald's or fast food in general. when we were
McDonald's
growing
now.
up,
Back
or
in the
McDonald's
day.
or
Fries,
fast food.
the
today.
fries now.
Listen, we had to get McDonald's on the way home from South Carolina. Man, I struggled.
Yeah.
I
It's
struggled.
terrible.
It was bad. I used to love McDonald's. I can't anymore.
We went there yesterday. It's been so long. I got the same fish fillet. I love fish fillet. I talked about it
Dude.
recently. Just love the fish fillet at McDonald's. And
It's
then
the best
some
fish.
nugs. Yeah.
The greatest.
I love a good fish sandwich.
But it gives me some heartburn now. I haven't eaten it so much.
My wife brought home a fish dinner from a restaurant, and it was so good. It was perch.
You know,
It was so good.
the
So much
best
better than
fish.
fish fillet.
Have you guys ever eaten at Captain D's? David?
like the fast food place?
Yeah.
No.
Are you the guy keeping Long John Silver's alive?
No, I don't like Long John
Who's
Silver.
eating the Long John
But
Silver's?
Captain D's is legit.
How is Long John Silver still in business?
And then you get it's like Dollar General. It's a portal.
Money laundering.
All right. Wait, who uses satellite dishes these days?
I have one in my house.
Do you use it?
No.
Okay. Why does a Dollar General need a satellite dish on the roof? Why is the next Dollar General 2 miles down have a satellite dish on it? I'm just saying, Dollar Generals are portals.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any
Have
sense.
you seen what was the movie where toy stores were a portal?
Toy Story?
No, toy stores were the closet was a portal. It might have been Santa Claus. Or no,
Monsters
he took
Inc.
the
Monsters
car.
Inc?
He
Monsters Inc?
No, the guy took the car and he threw the car and it became a big car and they drove off.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, somebody tell me what movie
This is
that
a West
was.
Virginia theater.
No, it's a recent movie.
I don't know.
Oh, it's the new
Ant-Man?
Christmas movie this year. It was in theaters.
I don't know, man.
Anyway,
Movies are
red.
terrible.
Red.
Oh, the one with the rock?
Yeah,
Why do we keep coming back to the rock?
I don't know. We like rocks, Jared.
That was for you.
I tried to do the rock elbow, or the rock eyebrow. I can't do it.
Give me the smolder.
I'm going to give you the people's elbow.
That was a nice sound effect. No, but Dollar Generals are portals.
No, they're not. They're just Dollar Generals. They could be money laundering, though. I would more likely.
Mattress firm.
Yeah. How are mattress stores a thing?
Yeah.
That's wild, too. How many people are buying mattresses all the time?
I just bought one. I bought it online.
And you know what I was thinking, too? Same
Helix.
thing. Along
Sponsor us, Helix.
Yeah, that'd be great. Dude, what I was thinking, too, was that remember the store Lids in the mall?
Yeah.
They had 2 or 3 employees all day long. How many hats do you have to sell to pay
Dude,
people?
I bought a lot of hats from Lids.
How many do
did
you have
too.
to sell though? Like to cover payroll only.
Well,
That's
back
It's open
then.
all day long.
Have you ever worked in the
7
mall?
days a week?
It's just a party.
It's money laundering.
It's fun.
The mall was money laundering. The mall has to lose money. There's a reason malls aren't around anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd agree with that.
because how do you have hundreds of employees in the mall
Hey, you know how many
and you don't
employees?
make that much money?
Back to Dollar General. They have one employee that's ever there,
Yeah.
and all the self checkouts are shut down.
Why though? Because everyone stole immediately.
No, because
why they
they're
shut it down.
They're like part of the satellite to get the
No.
portal.
Hey, I'm not with you on the. It's not a portal. It's just a store.
So you said Toy Story, or somebody said Toy Story a few minutes ago. When you were a kid, when Toy Story came out, did you
Talk to your toys.
pretend to
me.
close your eyes and then open them real quick to see if the toys are
Yeah.
going, or like shut your door and then open it up real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all did
had-
that.
I wonder about Justin, like with Donkey Kong and his toys. Playing Donkey Kong, having fears of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, we played Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong for so much that Justin had nightmares about Donkey Kong chasing him. He got in trouble for it. He got grounded from his Nintendo 64.
That's funny.
It's funny. But yeah, man, Dollar General is just Dollar General.
Yeah,
And we went to the moon, and the
listen,
lady has a
I'll
nice
buy into
face.
some weird conspiracy theories. I'm not with you on this one, Sean.
It's the best conspiracy theory. There's no other conspiracy that is greater. Dollar General, it's a hub.
Oh my gosh. So the I don't even know where to go from here. The next topic.
The next topic. As we close.
As we close. Overrated, underrated. History Channel documentaries. High quality history or
Propaganda. I think that you're going to learn more nowadays with independent journalism and podcasts than you would from those documentaries. Because again, history is written by the winners. You're going to get other points of view now. And I think that those documentaries, at least the ones that we grew up on as kids, are
skewed.
overrated, skewed.
Yeah, I agree. How about you? Did you ever watch any?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
That's about it.
What about biblical archaeology? We talked a lot about that today, about the Ark and the Ark of the Covenant.
We didn't talk
and-
about the Ark. That's something too. Right?
We did. We talked about
Just kinda
briefly
touched
on it.
I wasn't
being-
here for that.
You
I was
were-
looking.
You were thinking about Dollar General porters.
Yeah.
He was caught in the satellite.
No,
mode.
I
Thinking
would-
about that woman's chin.
No, I was remote viewing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Talk about forward-facing sonar. What kind of sonar? No. But are we finding real history, or are some of these discoveries just hyped up?
Real history.
Yeah.
I think it's real history.
Yeah.
I think that the more we look into it, the more the Bible is going to be proven true.
Right. I think it's at the point where it's going to become unavoidable. And
Yeah.
I think that plays a part into the end times too.
Mm-hmm.
Like every knee will bow, every tongue confess. Because everything's pointing to Jesus and not away from it. Maybe like going back to my other thoughts was like, maybe they're just looking into it to disprove it, and they're just finding it's true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
I think that they believe that there's like power in the relic for whatever reason. And they think that whoever obtains it, I think that's why Hitler was looking for it.
And same with the
Like,
pyramids.
To
like,
weaponize it.
the research under the pyramids, and why they kept that away from us. But it's all pretty cool to think about. This was a wild episode of just random fun. But
Started off the cuff.
Yeah. Anybody have any last cast thoughts on
The moon
today's
landing
episode?
was fake. It
The
didn't
moon
happen.
landing was fake.
I don't know if the moon I think it was real. I'm the only one maybe here that's still holding on to it, but I'm not sure anymore. I'm getting confused. Somebody help me.
So just real quick on the Egypt thing, just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's weird that all came out the week that everything from the JFK assassination was declassified?
And then it's like that. Then there's that side of it.
Diversion.
Is it just a big false flag where we're just getting random stuff to distract us? Same with the drones that we talked about episodes ago. Like the ones in New Jersey.
Yeah, just
they were just like,
vanished.
all of a sudden they were like,
Something
oh,
in
that
that-
was us. It's okay.
Something in the JFK files caught my attention. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but I didn't read it. But somebody had said something about like JFK was like kind of on the same path Trump was on, like discovering things and bringing them to attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the government that took him out.
Yeah.
And then like Trump tried to get assassinated. No, he didn't try. There was assassination attempts twice, at least, that we know of.
That we know of, yeah.
And like the government likely was behind it. Like, well, the guy in Pennsylvania was known to hang out like at the same place as the FBI or
this is
whatever.
a well of this is a deep
Secret
dive.
Service, yeah.
Lots going on.
So like it's just interesting. Like JFK and
think
Trump are kind of like
we're just
on the same path.
Have you ever looked at all the parallels between JFK and Lincoln?
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look it up.
So almost every good president we've had has been assassinated or tried. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Something with Epstein was in there too.
Yeah.
In the same.
I think that when we learn more about these things, it just shows that, man, we don't really know anything.
Yeah. We, everything's an illusion. The moon is fake.
I don't know.
It
about
is
that.
a home
Guys,
of.
somebody help me. Somebody help me. I think that we went to the moon is real.
It's hollow.
No.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
We don't know.
And the earth is flat. No, no.
Nope. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool to look into Bible relics and history. Ancient history is fun to dive into. And I think that the point of this episode too is that even though things get revealed or things are being hidden, we can look at it and it all really does point back to the Bible is true. And no matter if you believe in propaganda or if you believe the moon landing or not, well, I'm not saying yes or no to that. But I am saying that God's word is true. God's word is true, and all of the findings and evidence, whether it's hidden or revealed, points to that. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. That I always get excited when I see, like, there was a thing where they found a jar of seeds in the area of biblical times, and they unearthed this jar of seeds and they planted it, and it started growing a tree from the Bible. Like, from that age, it still was active. It was still able to grow.
Well, even the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
I mean, verify.
Yeah.
Specifically, the book of Isaiah, word for word.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's so cool and that's another thing we didn't get into that we could have, but it's cool that it just confirms nothing is saying that it's not true. No matter the motive behind it, whether it's a seek for a power or whether it's just to disprove and it's backfired on them or whatever, the motive of doing this research and spending this money to find out, if this is real or not, it's just confirmed. And for whatever reason, in 2025, it's all kind of being done now. They're showing us. So it's pretty cool. And I just think that's the takeaway, is that things get weird, especially with our government and with our history. Things get weird, and, winners write history. And we've won a lot. So the history we've written, who knows if it's all truth or all not. But
one thing we know for sure there is we did not go to the moon.
No, one thing we know for sure is that the Bible is true and God is real.
That also, but We didn't go to the moon.
I don't know, man. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed this.
It's all true. We didn't go.
We went to the moon, guys. Am I alone?
I feel like I talk more like Sketch than Trump.
Yeah, I don't have a good accent for him. I got a good Mickey Mouse though.
Yeah, you do.
And Stitch.
On accident.
Yeah, on accident. But we hope you enjoyed these episodes. We had a little more fun in these last two and hope you enjoyed them. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this episode. Help us to grow on all platforms. We want you to be a part of this community. You have input in what we talk about. We want you to share your thoughts on these weird topics. If you like them, let us know. And until next time, keep casting faith in everyday life.
We'll see you.
Like, comment, and subscribe.